Everybody, in this video I will show you how to do the packet tracer task from CCNA-I-v7. But at the beginning I would like to give you some general tips on how to do the practices and the labs in CCNA. So first tip, number 1, spend some time on understanding what are the objectives, what is the goal from this task, what you will learn from this practice. Don't rush, be patient. Tip number 2, do not memorize all the commands. Write them down and then you can rehearse on them when you want. Tip number 3, learn by practicing. So get the file from the course and then try to practice or work on it by yourself. Do it as much as you do by yourself, as much faster as you will learn. Okay, let's go back to the practice and let's try to solve it. First of all, let's read the objectives. First, we will configure a hostname and IP addresses on 2 Cisco switches by using command line interface. Then, after that, we will use Cisco command to specify a limit access to the device's configurations. It means that we will set passwords on the devices. After that, we will set 2 host devices with IP addresses. So end devices, this is one, and this is the second one. And after that, at the end, we will verify the connectivity between the PCs by using the ping command. Okay, so those were the objectives. After understand what are the objectives, we will read the scenario. It's a small story about the situation. So imagine that this is a situation in a real work environment. As a recently hired line technician, your network manager has asked you to demonstrate your ability to configure a small LAN. Your tasks include configuring initial setting on 2 switches using a Cisco IOS and configuring IP address parameters on the host devices to provide end-to-end connectivity. You are to use 2 switches and 2 host PCs on a cable and powered network. So this is the network, this is the topology, and it's cabled, as you can see. And it's the light here, it's the green. It means that the connectivity is established. And you have also 2 switches. So this is the topology, this is the cabled and powered network. And then after that, let's do the requirements. First, we have to use the console connection to access each switch. So in this requirement, we have been asked to use the console cable. So we will not use SSH or Telnet, we will use a console cable. So to use the console cable, we will go here and RS232 to the switch, and you can see the first one is the console. Of course, we will repeat the same process here. So we finished step number 1, and then we have to give a name to the switch number 1 and the switch number 2. And in this case, by the way, this is one of the scenarios. It may happen that you will receive another scenario, so perhaps it will be vertical or some other topology, but the concept is the same. So in this way, we have ASW1 and ASW2. It may happen that you have, for example, class 1 and the class 2, different username, different password, and things like that. Okay, let's go back and continue the practice. So I will do everything in switch 1 and then I will repeat the steps on switch number 2. As it's required from us, we need to use the console. As you can see, this is a small computer. This is like a PC, and we have two icons here. The first one here, this is a command prompt. This is like a CMD in Windows or DOS, and you can use here commands like ping, ibconfig, and things like that. This is a command prompt, like the one that you use to work with in Windows. And we have also a terminal. This terminal is used when you connect to the console. So from here you can access the switch. As you can see here, we are now on the switch and we are in the user mode. And to move forward to the global mode, we type enable, or we just type en and then press tab in the keyboard. It's auto completion. And now we are in the global mode. Because of this sign, as you can see, this is a pound sign. It means that you are in the global mode. And to move forward to the configuration mode, we type configure terminal. And this is now switch. We are and then a configure between two parentheses. It means that you are under the configure mode. And let's give a name and host name ASW-1. Please be careful when you type the names and the passwords because it should be in the same way. So here we have A capital letter, S capital letter, W small letter, and then we have hyphen and 1. Otherwise it will be considered as mistake. And when you do a command, this is a packet tracer, so always you can see your progressing here. So now I have finished one or I have got 1 out of 100. Okay, I will show you later how to check the results by using check results. This feature is only available when you are solving a packet tracer task. In the lab you will not have something like that. You have to do everything by your own and you have to build the topology as well. Okay, and now we have to use the password for all lines. So now we will set password for lines. Please pay attention that we have two types of passwords. One of them for lines, which is here inside the terminal when you move from user mode to the global mode, for example, and we have another type of line which is the console. So usually when you connect your device to the switch directly by a cable, you will be asked about a password. This is the console password. Okay, let's set now the console password. Line console 0 and the password A U B capital R U, and then we type login, and after that we have to set line password for the VTY line, and then also the password 8 U B capital R U. And usually always you can see here you're progressing, and again login. Then so we finished the password for all lines. So it was a password for lines. So that's why line console 0, line BTY. After that, we have to use this password as a secret password, and this one when you move from the global to user mode to the global mode. So if you remember, we were in the user mode, we typed enable, and we moved to the global mode. Here, between this user mode and the global mode, we need to set a password, and this password is C9WRE. And to do that, we type enable secret C9WRE. Okay, and then we need to encrypt all clear text password, surface password encryption, and then we need to configure a message of the day in the banner. This is only just a message when someone tries to access to the line, we can give him a message. For example, the message of the day, we give stop. This is a stop. So when someone tries to access, we can give a message that you can write what you want here. And then we need to configure addressing for all devices according to the address table. Okay, so now we are in switch 1. So in the switch 1 we have VLAN 1 with the IP address and subnet mask. And this is called SVI, or switch virtual interface, because usually the switch doesn't need an IP address because it's a layer 2 device, but we can manage that. We can use as a virtual interface on it, so we can access this device remotely, and it's needed now. However, we will talk later about this feature, how to say what does it mean. So this is the task. That's why I was talking about understand very well what are the objectives, because the objectives here is to set the basic switch and the end device configuration. So we have to focus on how to set the basic configuration on the device. So skip now what does it mean VLAN and what is switch virtual interface. You have to learn now how to set it or how to configure a VLAN or a switch virtual interface with an IP address. So to do this, we need interface VLAN 1, and then we type IP address, and then we put the address from the address table, 16.5.35, and then we need to give the subnet mask 205.205.0. No shutdown command. Please don't forget to type no shutdown, because we should activate the interface, and we should get a message says that the interface changed state to up. Okay, usually you can see your progressing here. Okay, that's all with the configuring device, and then we have to save the configurations that we did on the device. So to do this, we go exit again to the global mode, and then we type copy running configuration to the startup configuration, and it's okay, and verify your connectivity between all devices. We will do this when we finish the configurations on all the devices. So that's all with switch number 1. We will repeat the same process on switch number 2. We will go to the terminal. Again, we will set device name. First, we will move from the user mode to the global mode, and then we will go to the configuration mode, and then we give a host name AS w-2. Then we need to set password for all lines, and then we have to go first to line console 0. We give a password 8 small u b capital R and then u. Login is not needed here, but just in case. Then we will go to line VTY 014. This is for SSH. And then we give password again 8 small u b capital R u. And then we have to type login, please don't forget. Then we go exit configuration. We move back from the configuration to the configuration by typing exit. And then we need to set password, enable secret, and then capital C9, W, R, capital E. And we need to encrypt all clear text password. We need to configure a message as well. And then we need to set SVI, switch virtual interface. 111. And then we set IP address according to the address table. As you can see here, this is switch number 2. We need 172.16.550 with subnet mask as it's supported here, or as it's given here. And don't forget no shutdown. We have got a message again here, states changed 12. While we have more, we need to, of course, save our configurations. To do this, we have to go back to the global mode. Now I typed exit. As you can see, I went up and now I am in the configuration mode. And as you can see here, this pound sign, it means that I am in the global mode. And then we need to copy running configuration to the startup configuration. Okay, that's all for this. Verify connectivity between all devices. We will do that, but first we need to set an IP addresses on the computers. So we have 2 computers, and usually when you would like to do this with packet tracer, you can reach it from here, or you can do this here, but in much safer way, use the IP configuration here. And then this is static. We will go back to the address table, and we are using BC2 or user 2, so it means we need to use this IP address 172.16.560, where we have here also the subnet mask. We need to change this because it was the default. And here, as you can see, we don't have a router in the network, so we don't need to set a default gateway at this level. Again, this task is about to learn how to set the basic device configurations. We will talk again, or we will talk later about the default gateway. What does it mean? What is the DNS server? Okay, let's do the same on user 1. We have an IP address for user 1. 172.16.5.50. Okay, I had made a mistake because this is a 60. So we will go again. We will check. Okay, 172.16.560. It's okay. 172.16.5.50. It says that this address is already used in the network. So one of the devices by mistake has been set to this IP address. We will check again this. It is 60, so it is not this one. We will check the switch by typing show running configuration. So this device, as you can see, by mistake has been set to this IP address. So to do this, we have to change the IP address. We go again to the configuration mode and then interface VLAN 1, and then we search the IP address. First, we have to give no IP address, delete IP address, and then we have to set again the IP address to 40 because it is switch number 2 and it's 40. Okay, now shutdown and exit it again, and then we check it by show running configuration, and then you can see here it is set to 40. So if everything is okay, we can manage here to type 172, the address as is given, 172.16.5.50. Okay, as you can see it's accepted, so we are in a good way. And then now, as you can see, we have reached 100, but we still need to check our connectivity. So from switch 1, from PC1, we need to ping PC2, and to do this, as you know, in the PC you can use ping from the command prompt. So we will use this time the command prompt, not the terminal, and we will type ping, and we are in user 2. We will ping user 1, the IP address 172.16.5.50, and as you can see, the ping is successful. Okay, this is the end of this video. Please try to do this by yourself again. Try to rehearsal or try to practice on it, and write down your questions and bring them to the lab so we can discuss them personally.